Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host, the Nerd Man, and you would think that this is some kind of Zack Snyder tribute channel, but I've been meaning to do regarding Zack Snyder recently, and I feel like I have to do them before I get off the Zack Snyder train. Zack Snyder, Ray Fisher train, and I want to move on to, a number of different other kind of content. In fact, I'll be reviewing, just to let you know, any Woody Allen fans, I'm going to be definitely reviewing the Woody Allen documentary that's coming out very, very soon. It's what is it called? It's called, I've just forgotten the woman's name suddenly, all of a sudden. But anyway, there's a Woody Allen documentary that I think is going to be very, very interesting. And I've got a lot of views on it. So I'm going to be doing something on that this Sunday. So when that drops, I'll let you know. But apart from that, there's two things I want to do regarding Zack Snyder, because I rag on him so much that and I'm going to maybe rag a little bit on him even in this video, but I want to do, because I really like BVS, I've told you, and I really like some other Zack Snyder movies. So I want to say some nice things about Zack Snyder on my channel for once. I'm only forced to say bad things because of how much his fans are so dedicated to him that they can't see any flaws in him. So I have to point out the flaws, even though for the most part, I like a lot of his work. So I like a lot of Zack Snyder work, and I'm just forced to always bitch about him because I'm always, trying to say, like, look, I like him, but he's got flaws. He's got things that I don't like. And this video, I don't know how this is going to go. But I'm going to be reacting to an interview he did for the Justice League movie, essentially. Sorry, for the Justice League trailer. So I want to just react to that, respond, see what he has to say, see if I disagree or agree with it. But I also want to react to some of my favorite Zack Snyder scenes. So I'm going to do that after this interview. So for this interview, I'm just going to be reacting. Maybe I'll do it in 2-3 parts to what he has to say about the Justice League trailer. If you've got any comments, please feel free to comment. I will respond in between. But yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, please smash that like button. Do subscribe, comment. You've got the live chat here now, so I'll be responding to that. But do me a favor, smash that like button. Help me with the algorithm there, and help me grow my channel. Okay, so here is the interview.
Let's get started. By the way, Zach, these are Andre's words, so I'm just the messenger.
Yep.
Cool.
Very good.
Okay. First question is: so I've had this question kept away for almost 8 years. For you personally, what's the most important message Superman carries? And if over the years,
Oh God, I'm going to be responding to this.
I don't think it's changed because, we still evoke in the film and also constantly think about the way basically Jor-El sent him into the world, with his words. You help them accomplish wonders. One day they'll join you in the sun. That whole speech still applies, and it's an ongoing quest for Superman to kind of achieve, even though, his father set a pretty lofty goal for him. And I think that he is starting to achieve it, but it is still out there for him. to complete the journey.
He has the Wonder Woman with the severed heads in the
Sweet.
background
Does that make sense?
of the
Yes.
interview.
Perfect sense. Okay.
So I think there he's talking about the Superman arc, which is apparently a 5-story arc before Superman becomes Superman. I've never really bought this whole thing. I always thought that Zack Snyder really felt that by the close of Man of Steel, that was the Superman from the comics, and it's arguable, it's debatable. I've gone back and forth with Snyder fans or Man of Steel fans, because I'm a Snyder fan. I'm not anti-Snyder, but I've gone back and forth with Man of Steel fans who claim that it's a masterpiece. I don't agree with that sentiment, but I think it's a good movie that I hate because for reasons which I'll detail in a second. But his take on Superman, I think, in Man of Steel, by the end of the movie, I think he felt that was Superman. He felt that was hopeful, when in fact it was dire and depressing, and it just felt like the winds was taken out from the sails. By the end of Man of Steel, I felt hopeless, if anything. And then I think when he saw the reactions to Man of Steel, he then shifted over to say, oh, it's a 5-story arc and he's becoming Superman and it was just his first day and blah, blah, blah. And, the argument always for me is, why is it that Superman has to take 5 movies to be, of all the superheroes who should be taking 5 movies to becoming the legend that they are supposed to be, Superman is the least of them. Superman is the character who's supposed to be, once the Kents have instilled that incorruptible morality in him, he's supposed to be ready to go. That's who he is. He's an aspirational hero. He doesn't, he sees morality in black and white, and he will always do what he thinks to be the right thing to do. He doesn't compromise like other superheroes. So killing for Superman, I've always said, of the DC Trinity, Wonder Woman will kill first because she's, she has also a kind of black and white morality, but her black and white morality says, basically, I won't kill, and I will always put my hand out to, for peace first. But if it's impossible and it's between, them killing innocent people or me killing this villain, then I'll kill the villain. That's Wonder Woman's philosophy on things. Batman will avoid killing. He doesn't like to kill, but again, I think he's more likely to cross that line than Superman. And Superman's absolutely no. It's like, that's just the thing. But that isn't my problem with Man of Steel. Well, him killing Zod was just, at the end of it, just another thing about the movie where I was just like, oh God, this guy really doesn't get this character. But it wasn't, I was off the Man of Steel train very, very early on in the movie, and it was way before that, and it was much more to do with that it clearly had no idea of what they wanted Superman to be. They just knew what they didn't want Superman to be. And it was trying so hard to not be Chris Reeves Superman, to not be a comic book accurate Superman, to be some kind of, to just be everything against what, to uproot expectations of the character, that it became a confusing muddle, because at the same time it was telling you, oh, this film is about hope, this film is about the classical themes of Superman, but we're replacing that Superman that would be right for a story that is about hope and is about, those classical themes. We're replacing that with another character, but we're going to keep telling you on the nose that he's a Christ-like figure, that he's, this messianic figure, that he's this hopeful, aspirational hero. People will tell him in speeches, but he himself does not represent that. And I thought that was just a huge conflict at the center of the movie that made it hard to know what this character is about. And I think just before I go on with the rest of the interview, that a major problem for me about Man of Steel was the fact that we weren't put in the shoes of Clark Kent or Superman in that movie. We were very much watching it, hovering above, and we were never at the same, place of confusion, or, in the beginning, he doesn't know where he's from. He's trying to find out where he is from, but we've already seen where he's from. We've seen Krypton, and we've seen its destruction. So we already know the resolution to that mystery. So we were never on the edge of our seats trying to be like, oh, yeah, what is this Krypton that he can't? We know, because it's a Superman movie, that he's from Krypton. So it's not going to be a huge surprise in that sense, but it's still going to be a different interpretation of Krypton. It's still going to have, different kind of, the film should have started, I wasn't a big fan of him being on a fishing boat or whatever, but the film should have started with him on the fishing boat. Right. And so that we were there to gradually discover with Clark Kent his on origins, and feel the similar frustration that Clark Kent does in terms of being wayward and not knowing where he's from or what he's supposed to do. If we started from that point of the movie, we would have been in Clark Kent's shoes. And the other really salient or important point regarding the movie that has always struck me as a problem is that, and I like Batman v Superman, but I just always found that every character in Man of Steel, and it's a big problem, because the action is spectacular, the score, the music, the visuals, everything is spectacular on that front. But why it feels like so much, it's spectacle with no substance beneath, is because all of the characters seem to be acting against the motivations that the film sets up for them. It's like Zod wants to, his main goal, his only goal, in fact, is to bring back the Kryptonian race. Yet he seems to act in ways that don't make sense to doing that. He comes to this planet, he's a god. He can bring back his own, the bloodlines that he deems worthy of the Kryptonians. And instead of leaving Earth as it is so that he can keep his godlike powers, he wants to terraform it and turn it into Krypton. And you're just like, why? Why would you destroy all the Earthlings? Wouldn't it just be more plausible for him to come down, find out he has these godlike powers, find out that he has 6 billion Earthlings that he can rule over, and it would be much more like what Zod is in the comics. He has 6 billion Earthlings he can rule over now, and essentially just keep the godlike powers, and then bring back the Kryptonian race, and have humanity as basically the Kryptonian slaves. It would have made much more sense to me, I think. and that would have solved a lot of the problems and plot holes of the movie. And again, the Kryptonians, why are they staying on this planet when they have space travel? Why don't they at least try and get the elites off the planet if they already have, if they can already travel in incredible distances? They have spaceships that, have already traveled to Earth. Why not try and, colonize another planet? Why are they deciding to die on this planet? And then why do they decide to send Zod off to the Phantom Zone, essentially, as a punishment, which will allow him to survive? And there's a lot of things like that just throughout the movie. There's, Clark Kent, he's trying to hide his secret, right? He's trying to hide who he is, but he keeps saving people. So he's let his father die so as to keep this secret, but then he's out there saving people on oil rigs in spectacular ways that they have to know that he isn't human. He doesn't even try and hide that he has these kind of massively special abilities from the people he saves. He just crushes a door and is all on fire, and and you just think to yourself, well, this looks cool, but it makes no sense to the character that you've tried to present to me thus far. So that's the problem I have with Man of Steel. I do see all the reasons that people think that it's a great movie, but I just think, in terms of the character development in a superhero movie, I think it's one of the worst in terms of everybody is contradicting what it states is their purpose and goal in the movie. So we'll see what else he has to say.
You said in the past that your version of Justice League, having been filmed in 2016, today fits perfectly in a separate universe, the Snyderverse, because of the direction that the DC Cinematic Universe has taken. You said you had no plans for a sequel, but left a sort of open window in saying, who knows? If you could pick a storyline to develop some sort of a spin-off from Zack Snyder's Justice League, what character would it be based on?
Is the question a spin-off, basically, so a non-sequel, but a
yeah, exactly. I mean, a story based on a specific character, or what would you pick? Who would you pick?
We talked about doing a. DC, we decided, they decided not to do it, but.
By the way, I found out that Zack Snyder is born on March the 1st, exactly the date that I'm born, which is so weird. Because actually I can see that me and him have probably quite a lot in common in some weird ways in the way we think. It's just on completely opposite sides, especially about the DC universe and comics and what they mean. But I think we've both got very stubborn opinions, and I think it's a very Piscean thing. But anyway, it's just a weird thing. But he's born on the same day as me.
We did talk about doing possibly I wanted to do a sort of a mini kind of comic book run on the death of Robin, right?
Yes.
And what happened with how Joker killed Robin, and what it did to Batman, and started him sort of down this darker road that ended, kind of culminated with the arrival of Superman,
Right.
That's interesting.
That would be cool.
That would be cool, obviously. It's typical Snyder. Yeah, that would be an interesting idea. I think that would be better suited to Snyder's talents. A movie like that would be so much better suited to Snyder's talents. Apparently it was Dick Grayson, the Robin who was killed. I don't know how Batman fans would take that, because They're very precious about Batman, and obviously it wasn't Dick Grayson who was killed in the Batman comics. It was actually another Robin. But I would really love to see that movie. That would be, I think that would suit his I think Batman suits Zack Snyder's talents much more than Superman, or like say Wonder Woman, or I'd even watch a Green Lantern Snyder movie. I think that would be fantastic, because I think he'd be good at Star Wars or something like that. But again, when it comes to Superman, all the more hopeful characters, I just don't think he gets it.
Oh, super. Your cut of Justice League is a milestone in film industry history, not only because of the movement that made it possible, but also because of the duration of the film itself. We'll finally be able to see everything you had in store for the League without...
He doesn't look very happy, does he? I don't know what's wrong, but he really just doesn't look very... He looks sad somehow. I'm wondering what's going on with him.
Or creativity being stifled. With this total freedom you're getting, and we fans would love to hear about it, what message would you like to give through your cut?
Well, I mean, listen, I don't want necessarily to, I'm excited for people to watch the film and sort of absorb the message as it unfolds. But I mean, I think on a more kind of, on a wider sort of cast of the net, I think that the idea of that each of them is overcoming some kind of family issue, and that this in the coming together of the League, that the actual their real families, I mean, the Justice League becomes their sort of surrogate family, but their real family issue is also in the work. They're doing the work and taking the first steps toward solving and sort of getting closure on like really what has driven them into this sort of, well, this sort of double life that they live as a superhero and as, and also as a normal person. So I think that the film is about healing that old wound of family and sort of through the new family that they've created. So I think that's a broad way of thinking about it. It's very important to the sort of core of the film.
Beautiful message. You are very active with your fans. You always answer questions and share your impressions on Vero. On January 2019, you revealed the All the Gods t-shirt with proceeds from sales contributing to the AFSP. The symbols were the focus of many theories and fan interpretations. With the release of your cut, will we be getting a more interpretative reading of the Aequitas map, or does it represent your initial idea for what would be the 5-film arc?
Well, when we created All the Gods, the idea is that it does hopefully both. It encapsulates the grander hero's journey. It incorporates the grander 5-film arc, but it also sort of the individual chapters of the way the movie rolls out are also kind of laced into it. So it's Justice League, but it's also more. So
I don't understand what this is.
It goes future and it goes a little bit to the past. So it goes on both sides of the story, and we'll see whether we get more.
Amazing. Awesome. We know that every movie has its challenges when it comes to directing. But of all of your movies, which was the most challenging and why?
Well, I'll say the most fun I've had making a movie was probably the movie I just finished, Army of the Dead, because you know, just being director, cameraman, and just with this kind of relatively small crew, and really being able to just physically do the work, it was really nice. Certainly the most challenging job that I've done was Justice League. Probably psychologically the most challenging. Physically the most challenging, probably Batman versus Superman. Just because of the long schedule. I mean, it was a 154-day shoot, and you know, and we were training. Like, I was training really hard during the shoot. We worked out every day, but it finally took its toll a little bit. By the end of it, we were all like, we were fried. So thank God we got to go to Bora Bora to do that pickup, because that was nice. That was a nice way, truly. We ended the movie in New Mexico on top of a mountain, you know, with Pa Kent. But then we got that one little couple weeks later, we went to Bora Bora and shot that little thing with a teeny group of people, you know, where they find the kryptonite rock. Mm-hmm. And that was nice. That was like a chill way to end. Before that, we were completely primed. So.
Well, sounds like a real challenge, my God. Speaking of difficulties, I have to bring up the pandemic. How was it adapting from being in the studio to then being in your home in the middle of two productions? I mean, considering that you finished, well, at the time when the question was made, you were finishing up Army of the Dead for Netflix and Justice League 3.
I'm going to on
between you and your crew?
On the part one of this. It's interesting, but like, it's, you know, I wanted to really kind of more speak about like what his views are on the Justice League. So I'm gonna skip through the video and see if I can find more of the Justice League kind of answers. But in general, I'm gonna do more, I think, positive kind of stuff towards you know, Zack Snyder, because as I said, he is a filmmaker I do generally speaking enjoy, and I don't want to just be ragging on him all the time. I like a lot of aspects of what he brings to the superhero genre. I just wish he would take criticism. You know, I think it's helpful to people to be able to take criticism and not take it in a way that is, you know, because the way critics actually, and this isn't his fault, this is the critics' fault, the way critics actually, you know, put forth their criticisms these days is completely malicious, as if, you know, Snyder made these movies to hurt people, or, you know, who really, you know, to do some terrible, awful thing to them in their personal life, as opposed to he was just making a movie that he hoped people would like. I do think he trolled the Superman fans a bit and the Batman fans, so he as well has some, you know, blame in this. But in general, the way people criticize these movies, I just think it's way over the top. Like the way people criticize Suicide Squad. David Ayer wasn't trying to troll anyone, but people were like criticizing it as if, you know, he tried to, you know, punch an old woman or personally offend them. But that being said, if Zack Snyder could wade through all of the different criticisms and just take those things on board, the main things, I think he'd just be a better filmmaker for it. You know, the specific thing of these aren't the characters, man. Especially Superman is just not the character. And, you know, if you could take that on board, I just think you'd have a much easier, he'd make his own life easier in terms of the DC fandom. Anyway, if you like this video, please smash that like button, give me a high five. Please do any comments in the comments section, so we can discuss some of Zack Snyder's favorite movies. What are your favorite Zack Snyder movies? And hi, by the way, anyone, please smash the like button. I'm going to come on and do another video very soon about my favorite Zack Snyder scene, if you want to join me on that. But so far, I've just been discussing this Zack Snyder interview. And, what I think about, what my thoughts on Zack Snyder movies. So yeah, please give me a high five, smash the like button, and please do comment on your favorite Zack Snyder movies and what you want me to do a video on next, and I'll see if I can do that for you. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe.